Hello. Um, I am Joker666. Wow. On Twitch, I'm Joker666 Mato. um, I um, I want to increase the amount of Supreme Ruler content on the internet, so I'll make a short introduction to this amazing game. This is Supreme Ruler 2020. Um, it um, it doesn't have. I mean, I have uh, a mod installed which gives you a bit more custom scenarios, such as divided planet, yeah, etc. Blah, blah, blah. I think I have 2 mods, and this is like one of them. This mod is cool, but it runs way too slow. So, well, you could probably just like, I think you could. Let's try that. Nah, no, let's do something else. Let's just what should we do? Let's do divided planet, perhaps. Nah. Divided American. I want to do something cool. Something that showcases game's potential. Well, this game was developed quite long ago. I've been watching content of this game for like I don't know, 5 years. I have played this game for quite a few hours. Well, this game, legit, I've played just about, well, almost 200 hours, but I've played the cracked version of the game before that, and I bought the game because it was so cool and good. When I had money, I did that. Well, my father bought it for me when I asked him, and it was on sale. So yeah. Let's see, which scenario do we want to play? The blocks scenario is quite cool. It divides the world into a couple of blocks. The weakest of which is probably Austria-Germany, because when it's played by the AI, it always dies. So I've been able to save the country by using artillery and defensive tactics and developing my technology. It's quite fun. Maybe I should play that, or perhaps I could play as the United States, or like a state of the United States in one of the divided thingies. Yeah, maybe we could do that. That's the fuck. Yeah. Okay, it's yeah, I think it's here. Or maybe it's yeah, it's here. It's in the campaign. Shattered World. Shattered World is a vanilla game mode which divides major countries such as the United States, China, Russia, and Germany, France, Spain, England, the UK. So anyway, let's think of a good country to play. Estonia, I think, could work out, but the easiest countries are ones with big populations, such as Muscovy. Muscovy is quite fun. They have a decent economy, which is good. They don't have any oil, which is bad, but you can capture oil from your neighbors if you go to a war with them. They also have it's good to have a low GDP in this game, because if your GDP is low, then that means you can produce stuff quite cheap, and you can export it to the world market and get a shit ton of money. Let's see, what country do we want to play? Finland is cool, but Finland Finland doesn't have that big of a population. Let's just play Muscovy, perhaps. I played it quite a lot. Poland, I haven't played Poland, but St. Petersburg might. Nah. West Germany. Let's just play Russia. Let's recreate the Russian Empire. And since I'm recording and streaming this, I'll feel productive while doing it. Conservative, I think. If you choose conservative here, I think that makes your military have like a plus 5% bonus or something. Being liberal does something to taxes and shit, but I'm gonna do a lot of military stuff, and since I think conservative means this is like you're leaning, I don't know, has to do with taxes and stuff. I don't know. Being conservative, I think, as far as I've heard, changes your shit. Debt I like to disable because it's only in the way. Another thing I like to do is disable, make the game start without any units, because that makes the start go faster. You have to wait less time. The game just runs faster when there's no units moving around. I like to start the game without starting units, because you can build up your economy much faster. You need to spend less real time and make your economy work and create a shit ton of military factories and shit. So yeah. I usually put the resources on like depleted or something, and initial funds at high. That all that does is, well, depleted resources. That, I don't know, that makes the world more competitive with first level resources like iron and shit. Initial funds just makes makes you build up your economy faster, which is fun. Third-party relations, if you are friends with China and China is friends with North Korea, then North Korea likes you. That's what that does, and also it does if you're at war with, say, Germany, and Germany likes, or the Brits like Germany, then the Brits won't like you. It depends. If you're good friends with everyone in the world, then this option makes everyone love you. This option really makes it super easy to ally the whole world. I've done that as Norway, for example. It's pretty stupid. Critical United Nations, if you have that enabled, everyone will declare war on you if you declare war on two people after each other. That's so stupid. Though it also works for the AI. So you can just do something and it's stupid. Allow government change if you fuck. If your government is like a democracy, then you'll lose the game when you lose an election, which isn't fun. Otherwise, if you have this enabled, that means you can do a military coup if you lose an election, which is fun. You can do that only if the military likes you, if the military approval is high. Random events, basically, oh, we found extra oil barrels in our garage, and you get more oil. It's stupid. I mean, it might give a bit of flavor, but nah, in the long run it doesn't affect anything. Fog of War, yeah, that's good. I don't know what these are, but I don't care. Allow nuclear penalties, whatever. Let's put it low so that we can use nukes if we want to. I think these are stupid. You just leave it complete. If you have it at capital, then a country explodes when its capital gets captured, and blah, that's dumb. Complete is better. It's basically like Hearts of Iron. Victory conditions as in, well, these first ones, they have to do with how you win a war. Then there's like time settings, but who cares about those? Let's just go into the game. I haven't played this game with music on for a while. The music is quite cool, especially if you've listened to it a lot. No lag. Okay, let's see. This is a neighbor. This is a neighbor. These guys have oil. These guys have oil. These guys have resources. These guys have nothing. These guys have a shit ton of resources. Okay, step 1, we need to make sure our minister is locked out of everything. I don't like my minister. Then we put this at maximum, we disable social assistance, and the most important thing is infrastructure. If you're playing as like a third world nation, then you might have to just enable infrastructure and healthcare, education. If you have low education, your research will suffer, but the birth rate will go up. Family subsidies increases your birth rate. Healthcare increases, among other things, how rich your people are, and decreases the death rates. Infrastructure just, I think, makes your economy run smoother. You should always fund it at maximum. Environment, that just affects your... Well, it affects, at least as far as I know, it affects your relations with neighboring nations. It's pretty cheap, I think. Doesn't really matter. Okay, taxes. Everything should be at 0 except for corporate, which should be at maximum, and small business. In this game, unemployment means, well, just like in real life, unemployment means that labor is cheaper, and if labor is cheap in this game, your resources are cheap to produce. Basically, if your population suffers, that means you prosper because of the global economy. The best resource to produce is consumer goods, but I once played a game as China, and I basically had a monopoly on consumer goods and was making bank, and I could I could control the consumer goods market with a slider. If I made my consumer goods be more expensive, then everyone would just accept it. It was amazing. Well, OP. It was really OP. Too OP. Anyways, let's see. What do we want to do? We want to fix our economy. We don't have any oil. We can't make any synthetic oils. This tab is fixed. We import uranium. I don't think we have any uranium deposits anywhere in our country. We need to conquer these people or these people for that. Something, or maybe the Ukrainians. Let's fix our military. I want my land production to produce me some Vatniks. Vatniks are OP. They are the second fastest land, real vehicle unit to produce. In the US, you have the National Guard there. It produces in 10 days, but it's slightly weaker than the Vatnik. The Vatnik is pretty good, and I've seen other people use the Vatnik too. So let's make our land factories in Nizhny Novgorod produce Vatniks. Maybe let's tell them to produce 2 tanks too. As the almighty Blackworth says, why build T-90s when you can build T-64s? Well, The only negative about building these is that you might require a bit more, or those T-72s. You might require a bit more manpower, but you get a shit ton of them. As long as manpower isn't an issue for you, you should always build the unit that you shouldn't care about manpower. Obviously. There. I think that's good enough. Maybe one more. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Just 5 cents. Whatever. Maybe okay. Never mind. There. Maybe okay. That's better. Okay. We have taken care of that. This should be whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's put this at max. If you have this as max, then you get more manpower. This doesn't really matter unless you're expecting to be at war. I think it improves your overall unit effectiveness. So if money isn't a problem for you, then there's no reason to not put it at max. Okay, air production. Muscovy has a lot of air production, which is great. Well, Moscow. It's Muscovy, but basically is. Helicopters, meh. The multi-role fighters. No, the fighter bombers are the best. Let's see. I think this could be a good unit. Yeah, if we mass these units, will be OP as fuck. There, that's good. Okay. Maybe we have naval production even though we don't have access to the sea. That's because we live on the Volga. Yeah, here in Nizhny Novgorod we have a dry dock. Naval fabrication. Doesn't really matter what we produce here. We're not gonna need anything really. We could start. Nah, let's just put it at 1,000 there. And missile fabrication. Missiles in vanilla are pretty bad because they take forever to produce. In the mod that I looked at, the Rouge mod or whatever, in that you produce missiles like 10 times faster. Every missile you produce 10 of. So it's a lot better. Actually, that's not how it works. How it works is that every missile fabrication facility gives you like 10 slots, which is... No wait, 100 slots I think it was. Yeah, so that's pretty OP. It's pretty good. Okay, that's... the military is taken care of. We might want to give orders to this guy to... If we give him control over the garrisons, that means... if we tell him to increase garrisons, that means we'll generate more manpower. It's easier to recruit more people into the army if you have a lower manpower pool, or a reserve stack, or whatever. That's taken care of. No, wait, no. Let's tell him not to touch the military spending. Let's tell him to do a massive military build-up. That just means that he'll add land factories to barracks whenever he feels like it, at a low cost to the economy. It's bad for your diplomatic relations. Overall, building up a massive military and building up a lot of factories is bad for diplomatic relations. People get CB on you if you do that. CB is justification to go to war with someone. If you declare war on someone without having a high CB value, like St. Petersburg has 30% CB on me, I have 10%. The amount of CB lowers the diplomatic or the international repercussions on you. The more CB you have, the less CB others get on you for declaring war, which is great. can never be underlooked or overlooked or something. And this is taken care of, blah blah blah. Maybe we should do some inflation control and thus increase unemployment, which is lovely. Fuck. Science, this should be at max because that increases your technology level, and technology level can only increase slowly by having this setting at 100 or 200 or whatever, and having it at 200 is the only way to compete in technology. I think the AI in foreign nations will adjust this whenever he feels like it, or she, or whatever, the minister, and if it's not at 200%, then the nation will go behind in technology level. You also have research projects, which are the actual technologies that you can use or benefit from, such as things like this. It doesn't really have many effects except for leading to this, which gives you more agriculture outputs. Blah, way, dark matter series. This is a good research. Gives you more research. Under warfare, if we were Germany, for example, we could, produce a super good tank that's above everything, because they have a technology level of 110. South Germany, West Germany, yeah, and East Germany is not here. East Germany is Soviet. Okay. Okay, we have put up some thingies here. Let's just put more thingies. Society, we might want something from here. Some of these technologies don't do anything, like protection of free will does nothing. I guess people like, no, okay, it increases your family and cultural rating. Propaganda machine doesn't do much. It makes everything more expensive and no one likes it. I have no idea what this is good for. Absolutely nothing. Urban renewal, for example, decreases, does this, blah. Advanced building materials makes pollution go down. Recycled materials does this, blah blah blah. Medical is good. It improves your healthcare. Though I think I'm not sure, but I don't know if healthcare rating can go up beyond to 150%. I'm not sure. There might be behind the scenes effects or calculations that aren't shown on that screen. It's pretty dubious. This leads to stuff. This is good. Okay, that's pretty much good enough. Let's just pick something here like this. Nah, yeah, sure. Okay. That's good for our botanics. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, this is the resource screen. You can see where food is produced and in what quantities. Basically, the brighter red tile is, the more of the resource can be mined. This means most usually that this color means you can build 2 factories. This color means you can build 4 factories. This color means you can build more 2 more factories than that, and this color means you can build 8 factories. You can build no, 6 factories. Fuck. something to that effect. I don't know. There are 1, 2, 3 colors. Okay. Obviously, this color means that you can't build any factories there. Well, no, not factories, but like resource gathering units. such as farms. In the case of food, this is water. This is where water is produced. Wow, along the rivers. Who would have guessed? Oh wow, Ladaga, Onega. Wow. In Iceland, for example, you have food in the ocean, but without any mods, you can't really mine that. But the population can gather food from your tiles anonymously without having any factories. So, like Finland, without having any farms, they still get enough food, which is cool. Okay, wood exists in forests, obviously. Saudi Arabia also has a few woods. Saudi Arabia doesn't have any water, which is good because you can exploit that. And you can sell them water for a high price and make buck. You can basically cheat or gain like unlimited money as a tiny nation by buying water from the world market and selling it to Saudi Arabia, thus increasing your relations with Saudi Arabia and thus giving you a larger profit margin. Until you have an alliance, when you have an alliance with Saudi Arabia, you'll get super cheap products from them, which is always good to have. Okay, then we have oil. There's way too much oil in Siberia. If you control Siberia, you don't ever have to buy oil from the world market unless you do something weird. I don't know. Oil should not be a problem to you if you have multiple oil tiles. In the blocks game, you don't really need to. Well, you actually can't sell oil to the market because basically everyone has enough oil. Well, especially if you have human players. Like Germany has enough oil to sustain itself until its economy explodes and expands and shit. If you max out your oil production. Okay, let's just move on. Blah. Coal. There's lots of coal here. There's no coal here except for this one tile in Finland. Some countries have lots of coal. Coal is, in my opinion, the second best energy source. Electricity is really important in this game. To produce consumer goods, you need a shit ton of electricity. Electricity is really important. Also, oil is important because without oil you don't have anything. You can't produce anything. Military goods, blah blah blah. This is everywhere. Ore, that is. Most countries don't have a problem with ore. Uranium is pretty good. If you play as Russia in vanilla, you'll have enough uranium to produce a couple of nukes and run a couple of nuclear power plants, which is good. Some countries don't have enough. Niger, for example, has a lot of uranium deposits, but they can't use uranium themselves because they're so backward. Unfortunately, it would be cool if Niger in real life had nuclear power, though I don't know how stable they would be, and nuclear power is pretty concentrated, so it wouldn't really work, I don't think. Yeah, unfortunately. But maybe the French could establish a power plant. I don't know. They have a military plan. Whatever. Going off track. Electricity. This is where you have you can build dams. Unfortunately, with dams, you can't build dams on river tiles unless there's a city on the river tile or the water tile. Like here, this is okay. This is a plain tile. There are a few provinces or tiles with cities on them that also exist on a river, like Hamburg. River narrow. You can still build dams there because it's a river. Same thing with Oulu in Finland. This is the only place you can build hydro plants in Finland. These two are the only energy tiles in Finland.